So, ever since I was a teenager, I've always slept naked. I just get way too hot at night, and it's honestly so much more comfortable. Whenever I leave my room, I'm always dressed, or at the very least wearing shorts if I'm going to or from the shower. My roommate knew about this, and up to this point, he had absolutely zero problems with it. We always knocked on each other's doors to be polite. It was never an issue, until his girlfriend came into the picture. So his girlfriend came over to stay a couple of nights. We all got along pretty well and had hung out a few times before, but this was the first time she'd actually spent the night. We'd all gone out drinking and got home pretty late, so once we walked in, everyone just went straight to bed. I did my usual routine, stripped down, and hopped in bed. Nothing different. Nothing weird. Just me in my room, sleeping the way I always sleep. Well, sometime during the night, his girlfriend needed to use the bathroom, but she didn't know which door was which. My room and the bathroom are right next to each other, and she opened my door by mistake. I have this vague memory of someone opening my door, but I was half asleep, and when she closed it, I just passed right back out. Didn't think anything of it. The next morning I woke up, and both of them were upset with me. His girlfriend had seen everything, and she was mad that I would sleep naked when a guest was staying over. They both sat me down and told me I need to start wearing clothes to bed, since his girlfriend was probably going to be sleeping over more often, and my sleeping situation made her uncomfortable. If you're enjoying this story, make sure you subscribe. We post new stories like this every single week. My argument was simple. I'm in my own private space, behind a closed door, away from everyone. And while I understand it was an honest mistake, it's still her fault for walking into my room without knocking. I didn't parade around the apartment. I was asleep. In my own bed. In my own room. But it's been a few days now, and my roommate still will not let it go. And here's where it gets really weird. He actually walked into my room, on purpose, while I was sleeping, just to check if I was naked. Like, what? He said he was just seeing if I'd started wearing clothes yet. But who does that? I told him I don't care if he sees me. We've been roommates long enough that it's whatever. But the principle of it is insane. You don't barge into someone's room to police what they wear to bed. This whole thing was getting completely out of hand. People told me to get a lock, but our place doesn't allow us to change the door handles or drill into anything. So I started looking into alternatives, and that's when I found a door wedge. Picked one up from Walmart, shoved it under my door at night, and problem solved. I told my mom it was to keep the cat from pushing my door open, and she didn't question it. Finally, I could sleep in peace again. Now here's where the update gets dark. After everything settled down, my mom started acting different. She seemed detached, out of it. When I asked if she was okay, she told me she needed to sort out some feelings first, but she promised we'd talk when she was ready. I said okay and left it alone. But something felt off, like she was carrying something heavy and didn't know how to put it down. Drop a comment and tell me. 9. Would you have pushed harder to find out what was wrong? A couple days later, he came back for another weekend stay. They had a little at-home date night, drinks, fancy takeout, the whole thing. And that night, I woke up to someone messing with my door. I called out to see if it was my mom, and got no response. So I pulled on a shirt and shorts, yanked the door wedge out, and opened it. And there he was. Standing right there. Drunk. Dyke. Just staring at my door. My heart was pounding. I thought maybe something happened to my mom and he needed help. But he just stood there, not saying a single word. He wasn't sleepwalking. He wasn't in distress. He was just there, outside my bedroom door, in the middle of the night. I looked him dead in the eyes and said, "I'm uncomfortable. I'm closing my door." Before I could even close the door all the way, my mom came flying out of her room. She saw him standing there and just erupted, screaming, cussing, telling him he needed to get out of her house right now. They argued back and forth, but eventually she got him out the door. After I calmed her down, I took her to her room, and that's when she finally told me everything. It turns out, the day she had walked into my room and gotten upset about me sleeping naked, she had just been on his phone. And she found messages between him and his brother-in-law, talking about me in the most disgusting ways imaginable. He was saying how I was growing up to be shapely and mature, that he couldn't wait until I moved out so he could dump my mother. And there were far more explicit things that I don't even want to repeat. This man had known me since I was 11 years old. 11. And this whole time, he was just waiting. My mom had come into my room that day to warn me to be careful around him while she figured out how to safely end things. But when she saw me sleeping with nothing on, all that fear and anger got misdirected at me. She wasn't mad at me for sleeping naked. She was terrified, because she knew what he was. He's out of our lives now. Thankfully. My mom and I had a real talk, and I understand now why she reacted the way she did. She wasn't trying to control me. No, she was trying to protect me. And honestly, that door wedge might have saved me that night. I went from thinking this was just a silly argument about sleeping habits to realizing I had a predator living under my roof. If this story gave you chills like it gave me, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a story. And let me know in the comments, what would you have done if you found those messages?